Hi gang, this is Mike G from Mr. G TV and MrMikeGarner.com, talking to you about the content I'm posting at the moment in the Mr. G TV Facebook group, and some of it is duplicated on the Mr. G TV YouTube channel, which you'd do me a great favour and honour me and help the community if you would like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because the more followers we have, the more power we have for me to put out free content and to do more interaction in the YouTube community, which creates a unity. At the moment I'm posting things that are controversial or might be called conspiratorial. In other words, we're talking about the moon landing, we're talking about government cabals, we're talking about the suppression of media freedom of speech, people being deleted, the hashtag agenda, where when you search for something, for instance, when I post something about vitamins maybe, or about holistic healing, there's very few hashtags available to me, even though it's a subject of immense fascination by millions of people. But the deleting hashtags that would suggest maybe that holistic, naturopathic, homeopathic medicine is of any value as an alternative or complementary to traditional mainstream pharmaceutical interventions, and they don't want you to look at that, so they've removed the hashtags. I mean, just hashtag something yourself, even in terms of something like moon landing hoax. You've really got to find that phrase, moon landing hoax, and you know, if you wanted to maybe put false moon landing pictures or something like that, it's very difficult to find a correlation of hashtags, because there's an agenda for people not to get together who have an alternative view to the mainstream narrative. Getting back to my point, I'm going to be posting things, and we have some very valued contributors to the narrative in Mr. G TV, Facebook and YouTube. Very strong-minded individuals who have very strong views, and I honour them and I respect them, because I'm the same. But I've made my mind up, and when I'm posing these questions, having made my mind up, I'm not trying to prove that I'm right. I'm trying to give people who haven't made their mind up an opportunity to think about it. I'm putting it out there. For me, a lot of the rabbit holes that I'm exploring, I explored 5, 10, 15, some of them 30, 35 years ago, and I'm done with it. Some of them take you into very dark rabbit holes, which I don't want to revisit. But I've done that. But what I'm offering by resurrecting some of these subjects is for you to go down those rabbit holes at whatever depth you want or not, and to make a decision about them, maybe if you've never looked at them before, or to revisit them and possibly make a new decision about them, because you might not have changed your mind for decades. So be open-minded, guys, and allow other people to post their points of view without ripping into them or tearing them down, or actually with any level of authority or arrogance or humour or annoyance. Have no tolerance for other people who might have an opposing or a simplified version of your belief system, because Mr. G TV is all about awakening, and whether you have been awake for a day or 50 years, I'm encouraging people to explore to learn more, to consider or maybe reconsider their belief system, and also to understand that the government, and I've said this so many times, you'll know what I'm going to say, you can almost complete my sentences. The government, the etymology is to govern your mentality. And so clearly they are rewriting history. You can see that with current situations, the thing that went on 3 or 4 years ago, C-19. All the leaders that made those decisions have been deleted, removed now, so you can't get to them. You can't hold them to account because they've all been replaced, and we're put in positions of leadership during massively changing times, accelerated an agenda, and now where are they? Who's holding them to account? They've all been moved out of office, and so the current administration, such as it is, are able to say that wasn't me. This is what we inherited. Very clever. Very clever. And, you know, the investigations are taking so long, rather like the post office investigation and the blood scandal, the contaminated blood scandal investigation, and many other investigations like thalidomide. They'll take Grenfell Towers. They'll take 20, 30, 40 years again. Clever. Because people forget. Information goes missing. The witnesses disappear or retire, or it's just extremely clever media manipulation, social engineering. And because this is going on every day now, and it's clear to be seen, because we live in an information age and it's easy to track what's going on, where it wasn't decades ago or centuries ago. I want you to look at some of the decisions that you made at times when we weren't as aware of media manipulation and the control of the government to govern your mentality. Big decisions that you've made, political decisions, spiritual decisions, religious decisions, personal decisions. Understanding now with the evidence that maybe our history has been rewritten, like the stuff about the pyramids, and people get rather antagonistic when I post it about the ancient alien theory or artifacts. You see, if you believe something, you'll find evidence on the internet to prove that you're right with that belief. If you don't believe something, if you want to debunk something or discredit something, you'll also find an equal amount of evidence on the internet to prove that you're right. So I'm not particularly impressed with people trying to prove anything through a device that's flawed, because we don't know, well, I think I do, but it's uncertain and unprovable who puts the facts on Wikipedia, who writes reviews on anything. I mean, we know that about any product or service or holiday maybe. You know, the people who are moaning on these travel sites are the people with an agenda. You know, these people are very quick, if you're in a service, people are very quick to moan and complain about your service, and very hesitant or indifferent, and they won't commend and give you a good report. So it's very easy to find evidence against something, because people will always argue against something, but if they're pro something, they keep quiet. They just don't say thank you and don't say that was excellent. But they're very quick to say how rubbish something is. So if you want to disprove something, go on the internet and you'll find lots of negative evidence. You find very little positive evidence, in the same way that you find lots of negative news and very little positive news. So I'm just encouraging you guys to allow other people to have this awakening. Don't have what I call rigor mortis of the attitudes. Don't be rigid in your thinking. Don't be in that place, sat in your ivory tower, thinking, well, I've made my mind up and I'm right. The minute you just do that, and the minute that you're not flexible to listen to another person's point of view, or to allow them to see the evidence of a point of view without you interjecting and proving that the question is wrong and wanting to shoot everybody down, then that closes debate. So when I post things, as I always say, never saying that I'm right, in an open-minded way, I ask you to be open-minded and maybe to put your view in a positive, constructive way. Make this group a group where there's no negative criticism. You can criticise constructively, constructive criticism, but no negative criticism. And please don't devalue anybody, including yourself, the group, or me, because I won't delete anything. I'm not of that ilk. But we're an open-minded, loving group, and we're sharing and caring and raising the vibration. So in every discussion, have that in the back of your mind before you post. Be powerful, guys. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your mind.